I'm Lisa Wallen with Directional Learning, and I welcome you teachers and parents to the Teacher Parent Edition. Today, I'm super excited because I'm going to be teaching you the hard sound of letter C and the soft sound of letter C. Actually, did you know that the cat can make two different sounds? It really depends on which vowel he's with. So you can see I have it organized into with different vowels. I call these the round vowels. Notice they're round. This is the apple, this is the dentist sound, ah, or looks like a rock, and this is our up guy. And when our little cat is next to the round letters, guess what? He simply does his cat sound. Do you know his cat sound? His cat sound is k. So he'll be able to make his cat sound when he's with the round letters because the round letters, cats love things that are round. So it'll make its cat sound when it's with the apple. When it's with the rock or the dentist, it'll make its happy sound, its cat sound. K. And when it's with the up guy too, notice the up guy is kind of round and he likes to play with the up guy and the dentist. So he does his cat sound. And that's the same sound that we taught the student in the handwriting program. Now, soft sound, guess what? He's going to make a whole different sound when the cat is with the elephant, Indian elephant, and yak. Notice they're big animals. Well, we're going to tell your students a story to help them remember the sound. So that's what we're going to be doing. So all you need for this is you need a whiteboard, markers, and you can always go to Directional Learning to download our clip art. And if you like, you can use wooden letters for this to make it multisensory for the student. So let's go teach our student about the cat sound and the snake sound. So the first sound that we're going to teach them is the cat sound. Notice I have the picture of the cat, and they've already learned when they see this letter all by itself in our handwriting program, they know to make the sound k. So I tell them the cat sound is our handwriting sound. Now, notice that the cat is next to the apple. And notice the cat comes first, then the apple. Well, whenever the cat is next to the apple, guess what? The apple is round, and cats love to play with round things like a round ball, right? They love it. So the cat's pretty happy. So he does his cat sound, k. Pretty easy. So when he's next to the apple, he does his cat sound. It's round. He likes to play with round things. Okay, then if the cat comes first and then the rock, guess what? Rocks are round, so the cat's going to be pretty happy and he's going to make his cat sound k. Okay, or they can think of, because this is the dentist sound, so if this is the dentist sound, the dentist loves to play with cats and the cat loves to play with the dentist. So he'll do his cat sound k. So they can think of it that way too, because we do call that the dentist sound. Okay, now if the cat was next to the up guy, notice the cat comes first, then the up guy. Well, this letter's round, so the cat's going to be pretty happy and it's going to make its cat sound k. And that's how I would teach them that. Pretty easy, right? And then you can ask them again, when the cat's next to the apple, what kind of sound is he going to make? And they should say the cat's going to make k. And we only want them to make the first sound, okay? So when the cat's next to the rock, what kind of sound is he going to make? Or the dentist sound? K, the cat sound, because he's happy that he's next to the round letter. And when he's next to the up guy, what kind of sound? K. So it's pretty easy. This right here is the handwriting sound. You can keep telling them that. Pretty easy. So we're going to teach the student the next sound. And this is called the soft sound of letter C. I call it the snake sound because the cat's going to turn into the snake. Now notice that the cat is next to the elephant, the Indian elephant, and the yak. Notice our vowels have changed. And notice they're all large animals. So when the cat sees the large animals, he's not going to be too happy because they're big animals. So he's going to make a different sound. He's going to try to scare them away. So this is what he does. So one day he was out in the pasture or in the grass playing. And guess who he ran into? An elephant. So notice the elephant came after him. So the cat's first, then the elephant. So whenever the cat sees the elephant, saw the elephant in the pasture, he was kind of afraid because he's a big animal, that elephant. He's much bigger than him. So he wasn't sure what to do. He's never seen an elephant before. So he gets this idea that he needs to slide away from the elephant. So he jumps on his own letter. So he gets this idea. He goes, I know, I'll jump on my own letter. And he starts to make his letter. And then, guess what it turns into? Then it turns into the snake. And he makes the snake sound. Because he knows that that elephant is afraid of snakes. So he jumps on his own letter, starts to make his own letter. Then he turns into the snake. And then the cat slides away. And that's what he does when he sees the elephant. He outsmarts that elephant. And he does the snake sound. Because he knows elephants are afraid of snakes. So see, he jumped on his own letter, started making his own letter, and then he did an upside down cat, made the snake sound. Notice he made the snake. So that's what you do when you see the elephant. Okay, so let's move to the next letter. Let's move the cat down here to the Indian elephant. Well, one day the cat was playing in the pasture or the grass, and he ran into an Indian elephant, and that Indian elephant is quite large. He's never seen an Indian elephant before. So he thinks back to what he did to the elephant, and he says, I know I'm going to outsmart the Indian elephant. I outsmarted that elephant, and now I'm going to outsmart the Indian elephant. I'm going to do the same thing because I know that that Indian elephant is afraid of snakes. So he jumps on his own letter, and he starts to make his own letter, and then he does an upside down cat, and then slides on down and does the s sound. So that's how he outsmarted the Indian elephant. He turned into the snake, and he did his s sound, and he slid away. That's what you do when you see the Indian elephant. Okay, let's move to the next animal. So then next, he's playing in the pasture or the grass, and what does he see? A big yak. He's never seen a yak. So he says, I know what I'm going to do. I outsmarted that elephant. I outsmarted that Indian elephant. Now I'm going to outsmart that yak. I'm going to run away, and I'm going to scare that yak and make my snake sound. So that's what he does. He jumps on his own letter, makes the cat, and then he turns into the snake. And guess what? He slides on down, slides away, and makes his snake sound. So that's what the cat did when he met the yak. That's what you do. You turn into the snake and make your snake sound. So that's how the cat outsmarted that elephant, Indian elephant, and yak. And now you know the story how he became top cat. So he outsmarted all those big animals. So remember, when the cat meets the elephant, Indian elephant, and yak, he outsmarts all of them and becomes top cat because he comes up with the idea of turning into the snake and making the snake sound and sliding away. So that's what you do when you come across a word with the cat and the elephant, the cat and the Indian elephant, and the cat and the yak. You know the story how he becomes top cat and how he defeats and outsmarts those big animals. So next, I would have them simply practice with the pictures. So notice I have the pictures, and I would say, look, here's the cat, and he's with all the round letters. So what kind of sound will he make when he meets the apple? What kind of sound will he make? And they should say he'll make his cat sound. He's pretty happy because these are all round letters. Same thing if he met the rock, if he's next to the rock or the dentist, he'll make his cat sound. Same thing when he's next to the up guy. The up guy's round, so he'll be pretty happy to play with the up guy, so he'll make his cat sound. Then what you want to do is you want to take the pictures away and go strictly with the letters. So we'll replace that and have them put the letters in the order that he met them. He first met the round letters, the apple, the rock, then the up guy, in that order so it stays in their working memory. Then you're going to say, Okay, what sound does the cat make when he's with what? What kind of letters do we call these? Round letters. Okay, he's going to be pretty happy. So when he meets the apple, he'll make his cat sound k. You can have him trace it. And if he meets the rock, he'll make his cat sound k. Notice we're only asking for the first sound. Then when he meets the up guy, what kind of sound is he going to make? His cat sound k. So you want them to be able to do that. And then once they have this part, then we can move to the decoding part for them. But now let's review the elephant, Indian elephant, and the yak. Let's find the yak. There's our yak. And let's get our picture of our cat out. So same thing, you're going to tell them, what do all these letters have in common? There are big animals, and the cat is afraid of the big animal. So when he's afraid of the big animal, guess what sound he's going to make? He's going to jump on his own letter and then turn it into the snake and slide away and make the s sound. And what if he met the Indian elephant? You can have him trace it. He's going to do the same thing because it's a big animal, make his own letter, and then turn into the snake and slide away and say the s sound because these big animals are afraid of the snake. What if he meets the yak? The yak is a big animal too. He's going to jump on his own letter and make the snake sound s. So you can have them trace it just like I did. So you want them to see they're big animals. So he would be afraid of them. So he'll turn into the snake. And then you're going to switch him out to the letters and then have them build it. Who did the cat meet on the big animals first? He met the elephant, then he met the Indian elephant and the yak. Have them keep it in alphabetical order so it stays in their working memory. And the same thing, what does the cat do when he meets the elephant? Oh, it's a big animal, so he turns into the snake. And he slides away and makes the snake sound. You can have him give you the story if they're storytellers. Same thing, if he meets the Indian elephant, he turns into the snake and have him do the sound. What if he meets the yak? Well, same thing, he turns into the snake. Have them tell you who the characters are. Elephant, Indian elephant, and yak. You want them to be able to visually see the picture. And if they can't, then bring out the pictures for them. And that's all you have to do, okay? Until they have that, then guess what? Then you can move to decoding. So next, I would have them simply decode words. You can see I have some words here for you. I have nonsense words that they can decode too. And I would keep a little cheat sheet up here for them. And the first word we're going to decode is this word here. And remember, our words have parking spaces. These parking spaces mean direction. This is the beginning. 2 means the middle of the word or the syllable, and 3 means the end of the word or the syllable. This is super important for decoding, so I will have them number it. This is the beginning sound, this is the middle sound, and this is the ending sound. We have a video on that to teach them about decoding, and we're going to use our shapes to decode. So next thing we're going to do is look for the vowel. There's the vowel there. Vowels we call red letters, so we're going to go ahead and mark it red for them. Then we're going to look next door on the 3 side. There is a consonant there. It's not a vowel, it's a consonant. So we mark our consonants blue, and we call them blue flies. Okay, so then we have to figure out the sound that the vowel is going to make. If there was no letter here, nobody there, then it would scream its letter name. But since there is something there, there's a blue fly there, then our vowel is going to simply cry its baby sound because there's a blue fly there. So this letter will cry its baby sound. Then I tell them which one is the baby stick. This one here. So that's also known as a short sound. And in the handwriting program, they learn the short sounds of our vowels. That would be ah. Okay? So it's a simple way to have them decode it. Now they would be able to touch the word, touch each sound, and say the sound, and then blend it to make a word. But since we have a cat here, I do something different with the student. I tell them it's a cat. I play a game with them and I say, is there any special letters in this word? There is. There's a cat there. And what I do is I give them simply a pen and I have them make cat ears. So you can have them make cat ears because it's a cat. Okay? And then if they want, they can do a little nose. They can do whiskers if they want. However they want to make it, okay? But that's a cat. And when we have a cat, I tell them in a word, we do something special. We look next door. And we go after, this would be after the cat. We look next door. And there's a vowel there. Now, which vowel is it? It's our rock. So it's going to make the cat sound because cats like to play with rocks. So it will say k. So now they know the sound. So it's k, a, t, caught. The word is caught. And now they can decode words easy with a cat in it. Just make sure that they identify that it's a cat and then look to see which vowel it's next to. And that will tell them the sound, either the cat or the snake sound. So now I'll ask them to finish decoding it is how many red letters in this word? How many vowels? There's one vowel and we're hearing from it. So it's a one syllable word. And that's how I would teach them how to decode with the cat in the word. So we're going to decode another word here, and we're going to have them number the word. There's 4 letters, 3 parking spots. So that tells them 2 letters are going to live together. Can you find 2 letters that might live together? Oh yeah, there's a blend right there, N and T. So I would go ahead and give them the numbers. That's the beginning sound. This is our middle sound, and NT is going to live together. That's our ending sound. And that tells them it's a blend. Next, they're going to look for the vowel. So vowels we mark off as red letters. Then they look next door and there's somebody there. So guess what? It's a consonant. So we mark it blue. And they know now that when there's a vowel next to a blue letter, this is a blue fly, the vowel's going to cry. It's baby sound because it's next to a blue fly. Yucky. So they tell them which one's the baby stick, that one, so it will make its short sound. Okay. Then I'll ask them, do you see anything special in this word? And they might spot the cat. You can play the game. I spy what? The cat. So give them a pen to make cat ears. That's what I do. They can make cat ears. Then they can make a nose if they want, remember, and they can make whiskers. They can do little eyes, however they want to do it, okay? So now they know it's a cat. Now they have to figure out if it's going to make the cat sound or the snake sound. So they simply look next door. After the cat, there's an elephant, and it's a big animal. So it's going to make its snake sound. So then give them the pen because they're going to change it into the snake sound. And remember, the snake, if they're having problems designing the snake or writing the letter snake, the S, they can make a cat, and then it's simply an upside down cat. So you can have them do that. So the cat jumps on its own letter because it's going to scare the elephant, and then it does an upside down cat. And then now it looks like the letter S. So they're going to read it, scent. The word is scent. And you can give them a definition of it, of this type of cent, which means money, and tell them we have different spellings because different definitions, okay? But they're going to actually say the sound, okay? So that's how I would teach them how to decode with words that have the cat in it. So let's decode a little more challenging word. Notice this is kind of towards the end of the word. So let's have them decode it. So notice I took the pictures away. So now they should have done enough of these that they can remember the sounds. So let's decode it. So first thing they do is find the red letters, right? And they might notice that there's an elephant at the end. And if you remember, if you taught them silent E, if they're a younger student, they can take the picture of the elephant out because that's what the E represented. So that's the E, the elephant. And remember, the elephant's able to jump over a blue letter. That's a silent E pattern and make this vowel scream its name. So it does fit this silent E pattern. So you can cover it up and then you can have them decode it with a pen. The elephant jumps over the blue letter, makes this vowel scream its name. So it's going to be a long sound. So we can get our stick out here. Our sound stick to the long sound. And then they can number it. So PR is a blend. It's going to live in the beginning. This is the middle, that vowel there. And then the E is at the end, and it takes the blue letter. So these 2 letters will live in this parking spot here. And then they can go ahead and touch it and say the word. But they might say, hey, there's a cat there. So if there's a cat there, they can make cat ears. to remind them to look next door. So they have to look next door, and there's the elephant that's next to that big elephant. So what sound is that gonna make? It's going to make the snake sound. So they can make the snake if they like. Let's see if we can draw it. There we go. So you can make the snake sound there. So that will remind them to make that sound. Let's make it a little darker so you can read it. So there's the snake sound. So then they can touch it and say price. The word is price. Okay, so you can see it gets more challenging when they really have to look for the cat within the word. So that's the key. Whenever you run into the cat, you have to look next door. Next, we're going to move to words with CI and CY. So next, I would teach a student how to decode words with CI and CY. But CI and CY are pretty tricky because most words with CI, like the word cycle, it's going to be 2 syllables, or city, it's 2 syllables. So if they're not quite at 2-syllable words yet, don't teach them real words. Teach them maybe a nonsense word with CI in it. And also, they have to know, to be able to decode a word like sis, they have to know the sound that the Y is going to make in the middle when it's next to a blue fly or next to a consonant. So you can hold off until they've learned that. So you want them to go ahead and decode this. So they'll go ahead and decode a word just like that. You know how to teach them how to decode that. So I'm not going to decode that with you. And then after you're done teaching the students, you always want to stop. You always want to stop and do nonsense words with them, because nonsense words, they have to be able to decode them. And you want to give them decodable words that they are ready to decode. So we thank you for watching Directional Learning, and we can't wait to teach you more.